بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم أما بعد. The knowledge of ilm Usool al-Hadeeth is a knowledge that's very, very vast, and it's a very, very important part of the ulum, or the things that a person should study among the sciences of al-Islam. And the great thing about the knowledge of hadith is that a person connects themselves with we can say that the hadith is something that's linked with the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his statements and his actions, and it is the source of al-Islam, and alongside with the Quran. And this is why when we call ourselves Ahl Sunnah, we, in other words, perhaps mafhum al-aam, more of a generic understanding here, is that we can say that we are those who know the Sunnah. And I definitely believe that the knowledge of hadith, in terms of the science of hadith, the mustalah, or the ulum of hadith, has been forgotten over years and over time, and a lot of people, they don't like to focus on the knowledge of jarh and ta'deel and the knowledge of ruwat, narrators, and the names of the narrators, and they like to just understand, okay, if this hadith is sahih, is authentic, then that's sufficient. Let me just take that to consideration, and that's enough. And of course, as a layman, of course, you will be taking that approach. You will say, okay, if this hadith is sahih, if Shaykh Nasiruddin Shaykh Albani rahimahullah ta'ala says the hadith is classified to be sahih, it's sufficient for me to act upon that. And this is true. And this is the correct way to think. But also, I also like, and I'm a strong believer that we should go into the knowledge of hadith in a bit more detail, in a bit more discussion. How this knowledge came to us. How is it sahih? How is this hadith considered to be a hadith that is sahih? How is this hadith weak? What type of weakness? And when we say how, we actually go into the readings. We look at the books like Tahdhib al-Kamal fi Asma' al-Rijal by Muzzi, and Tahdhib al-Tahdhib by Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, and even his Taqrib al-Tahdhib. And he has another Tadhhib al-Taqrib, or Tadhhib al-Taqrib al-Tahdhib. And books like Talkhis al-Habir by Ibn Hajar rahimahullah as well. And then books like Mizan al-I'tidal by Imam al-Dhahabi, and his Tadhkirat al-Huffaz. And the books are many. And the more you read about narrators of hadith, the more you read, the more you start to know about them. The more you start to realize how important this knowledge is, because they made so much ample effort to compile a hadith and bring it together. And I do feel that this knowledge is important. I do feel its importance. Even though one may say, well, today we can, like in Arabic, one can say, نتطرق على حكم الحديث بكل سهولة. We can come across the ruling of the hadith with great ease today. The internet, for an example, you may go onto a website that will give you the takhrij of the hadith. There is Maktaba Shamila, there is the library, the Shamila library, and there's other ways of finding that out, and it's quite easy today, and I won't disagree with that. But I will definitely say, as I conclude, inshallah, we should at least learn how the scholars came to that ruling of hadith, and understand how, at least, and understand why, and look into it a little bit more detail, inshallah ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us tawfiq and ikhlas, sincerity. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.